on the 4th of July, apparently somebody blew off a firework and must have hit a pole. So, I mean, I guess that's how it works. And we're back on the air with you. We appreciate your patience here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. So happy to be here with you. And we were playing inside of Christy's corner. Pardon me. We were playing rapid fire. So as we wait for Christy to rejoin us, Pat, you and I are going to play. So you had a question for me. You asked me about. Oh, and Christy is back here. So you asked me about being in the world of basketball and what we did, and our warm-ups were, to me, the excitement of the warm-up and what we were able to do was really just the feel of it. It was putting on the warm-up gear and getting out there and just experiencing it in a unique way. It was the way that we did it. It was what there was nothing like being in our gym and being in front of our people. And I think that's why, St. Joseph's Gym to this day is something that people use. So I would have to say, to start off rapid fire here on Christy's Corner inside a Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, with International Boxing Hall of Famer Christy Salters Martin, boxing photographer Pat Orr, and owner of PB&J's Lunchbox on 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Go and see them all throughout the week, just not today because it's a holiday. And, of course, myself, Dan Tortora. So the warm-ups are what got me. And the warm-up gear, I don't steal things, but I really wanted to somehow make the stuff they gave me disappear because I wanted to keep it forever. I still want it to this day because it felt good to wear it. So with that being said, my first question to Christy in rapid fire. Christy, as someone who goes out and does public speaking that we're working to find engagements for you here, is there anybody that you've seen speak that inspired you?
The craziest thing, I haven't gone ever to sit down and actually listen to someone speak. And maybe that's why I always, about myself, think I'm not doing a good enough job. Because where I have seen, like on TV or bits and pieces of other people, I'm always like, oh man, they're killing it. They know what they're doing. And like, I'm so terrible. So, no, I think my inspiration, my dad, just in life, he told me that from word go, dream big, baby, and you can be anything you want to be. So that was my inspiration. And of course, my mother, was my biggest supporter, even though, my dad was telling me I could go do it. My mother supported me and was cheering me on to go do it, except she wasn't really crazy about the boxing thing, I don't think, at the beginning. But we kind of won her over.
I like it. So what's your question for Pat, Christy?
So, Pat, oh my, let's see. Pat, if there was any car that you could have out there, sports car, not food truck, SUV, whatever. What would be your car? And it could be old, new, in the future, Back to the Future mobile, whatever.
When I was younger, I always thought that when I got a Jaguar, I knew I made it. And then when I learned how expensive they were to get fixed, I didn't want it. So as far as
Right.
cars, I mean, I like old cars. I like the old Mustangs. I like the old Chevy Novas and stuff. But I like my CRV. I'm a simple person. I just like something that rides nice and keeps me cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Keeps me on the road.
As long as it has a good AC.
As long as other people own the nice cars that I get to ride in once in a while, I'm good with that.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I like that because it's a shameless plug for a car that I also have. So I love the CRV. And my first ever CRV, which my mom gave me her car in my junior year in high school, it saved my life when I got hit by a drunk driver. So
Wow.
I will always appreciate Honda and CRVs for how they're built. Pat, your question back to Christy.
All right, Chrissy. With all the times you walked into the ring were you, like, what fight were you the most nervous about? Maybe a little scared? And what song did you walk into?
Well, for sure, never scared, nervous always, and my fear was always of losing, not of the opponent. So I guess that's kind of scared, but I didn't want to lose. I think the best song that I came out to, and I came out to different songs, but always the Coal Miner's Daughter. And it was like, there was just some point in it that it just changed me. It was like, I can feel it right now. It just came over me like, you got to do this. You know, you have the Coal Miner's Daughter, Loretta Lynn, you have West Virginia, you have all these people on you, and you got to go out there and perform.
Yeah, like Pat said,
Yes,
you know,
my roots.
representing your roots. So, yeah, that's
Absolutely.
That's a beautiful thing, you know, and to have that pride. And I like that you said never scared, just nervous, because they say, you know, if you're nervous, it means you still care about it. So,
Right.
to be a little bit nervous isn't a bad thing. So, Christy, what's your question for me?
Oh my. I don't know that we may have already touched on this
Okay.
about if you could interview anyone, but let's just be more specific and say if there's a president,
Yeah.
still alive or past, that you could sit with and have lunch and kind of do your interview, but you know, informal.
Yeah.
Which president would it be?
Without doubt, it would be Abraham Lincoln. And I would want to sit down. Yeah, I'd want to sit down with Abraham Lincoln, and I'd want, you know, it's something that, you know, I've said to my parents before, I said, you know, when so many people might stand against you or not support you, or, you know, you treat them nicely and they treat you poorly, like, how do you know you're doing the right thing when people hate you back or are mean to you back or not supportive? And, you know, I would want to sit with him and say, how did you know you were doing the right thing? How did you know when the country was divided that you were doing God's work, that you were trying to help, that you were doing what was right for everybody? Like, how did you know that? How did you know in your heart of hearts that people's lives on the line and blood being shed and tears being had and all of this stuff and brother versus brother and sister versus sister? How did you know that it was the right thing to do when you didn't have the support? Because in today's world, if you don't have the clicks and the followers and the likes and the subscriptions, people think, well, it must not be good if they're not clicking on it. And that's not true. And so, you know, I'd really want to sit with him and pick his brain about that and what made him do it, why he did it, why he stood by it, if he would do it all over again. And, you know, if you know, I'd want to ask him, having him gone through what he went through, I'd want to almost like go back in time and say, if you knew you were going to be assassinated for everything you did for this country, would you still do it? And so I would love to just really get his story and feel that. I'd also go back to George Washington and tell him that he was right, because he said two things. He said, never form political parties, they will divide this country, and stay out of foreign affairs. And we listened to neither of those things. So, I mean, I would definitely say, G-Dub, you definitely knew what you were talking about back in the day. And I would also thank him when he could have been a king or a president, and he chose to be a president, not a king. So I would also thank him for doing that and saying that, you know, you can't just be serving forever and you have to eventually leave. So, and I know this is a long response, but I would also go to Andrew Jackson and I would slap him high five for what he said, because what was it? Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, John Quincy. So John Quincy Adams, I think he's the one that said it. He said, I can't believe that they let like this this guy into the White House because Andrew Jackson was different and he wasn't an eloquent speaker. And so he made some comment like look what's in the White House now. And Andrew Jackson said, there's some interesting words. And I thought that was such a great response. And so I want to slap hands with Andrew Jackson and be like, you found a really nice way to say, I'm in the White House no matter what you think of me, and I'm going to lead. So I like that. And yeah, I think there's a lot of presidents I would talk to. I'd probably sit down with all of them and pick their brain, but I would definitely want to be with Abraham Lincoln on a rainy night in the middle of the war, sitting with him by candlelight and just asking him about why he's doing what he's doing. I definitely would do that.
I think I just learned more about the presidents than I ever learned in school.
See, it's amazing when you can listen to someone public speak, i.e. Christy.
Right.
So, it's amazing when you do that. So, okay, my question for Pat. Pat, if you were running for president of the United States and you won, who would be your vice president, and what job would you give Christy? What job would you give me? And what job would you give Champ?
Oh my God. Jesus, Dan, it's my day off. This is hard.
Every time I ask Pat a question, she's like, I need coffee. It's my day off. I just worked until 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
If I was president...
You need a vice president?
I'd probably quit.
Okay.
I'd probably say, I don't think I want this. Boy, I don't know, Dan. This is a tough one because I don't think I can.
Well, you gotta pick a
nice.
you gotta pick a VP. You gotta pick jobs for Christy, Champ, and I.
Okay, so a VP. Oh my God.
You can pick somebody funny. You can pick whoever you want.
I know. I can pick anybody I want. I'd probably go with Kamala Harris, so she had a second chance.
Okay.
And I'd probably give her more work to do.
Okay.
So she looks legit because she is, but I don't think Joe Biden gives her enough to do to give her good props.
So you give her more work, okay? And then what?
I give her more work.
And then what are we doing?
Well, you're going to be the broadcast media, of course, and Christy's going to have multiple jobs.
Wait, that's my question. Do I get to be press secretary? Do I get to tell the media what to do?
Yeah.
Yes.
And multimedia.
That'd be a good job. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that would be a good job for you because you could go out there and smoke them. Definitely, they'd be at the end saying, "Oh, thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
What did he just tell us?"
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Christy, she's probably gonna write my speeches, even though they come from her art. Or she's just gonna be in my ear telling me what to say.
Okay. I like that.
And she's gonna be my
I'd
buddy.
be like, no F bombs,
Yeah.
no F bombs, President Orr.
Yeah. And she just said you're gonna be her bodyguard too.
Yeah. And
There you go.
He's just gonna be cute. That's all. And that's all he needs to do.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a distraction, like all presidents have distractions.
Yeah.
Yeah. If something big is going on in the world, all of a sudden they have a distraction over here to take the attention off of it.
Yeah.
There won't be any distractions.
Did you just bomb that place? Yeah, but look at Champ. So, look at what Champ's doing. Champ, look at him over there playing with that rope. And they'd be like, yeah, but we want to talk about the fact that you might have just started. Oh, don't worry about that over there. Look at Champ. Look at Champ just over here smiling, drinking out of that bowl.
Exactly. But your question, Dan, is something that I would never want to be.
Yeah. Well,
I wouldn't ever want that situation.
Yeah, well, that's the unfortunate part of what the presidency has become. It's become a job that people don't want. And that's a sad thing because it used to be a place of great honor and leadership and kindness and freedom and generosity, and we need to get back to a place where people want to sit in the seat. So, I look forward to that. But to the media, I'd have a cigar out there that day. So we're going to have some fun. And seeing Christy, oh my gosh, could you imagine? For the first time ever in the history of the presidency, somebody comes up and grabs the arm of President Orr, and we got a bodyguard International Boxing Hall of Famer, and we get to put on camera, bang! And then I get to walk over and go, hey, that's your 50th win. So,
there you go. Amen.
I would love that. I would be like baiting people in the media. Be like, come on, say something. Like go like when we're walking out of the room, touch President Orr's arm just because I want Christy to hit you. So
right.
Yeah, we'd be doing that. That'd be awesome. They'd be like, how do you feel about? Yeah, they'd be like, how do you feel about Punchgate? I'd be like, Punchgate? I'm proud of her. I support. I might get a shirt now that says #Punchgate. I might just do that for us.
There you go.
So I like that. But with that being said, a very happy 4th of July and happy freedom to all of you in this country, and to hopefully out of this country, and for those that are fighting for it. We appreciate you, and may America from here on out be the beacon of light that we were and we were supposed to be. With that being said, Christy Salters Martin, Pat Orr, myself, Dan Tortora, Christy's Corner, and announced today, we have plenty of work to do and a lot of excitement to have. As my buddy Floyd Little said, and one of his favorite quotes, we have miles to go before we sleep and promises to keep. So with that being said, be safe, be well. Christy, it's your corner. You get the final word. What do you want to say?
You know what? Just happy 4th of July to everybody out there. I'm so honored and great to be able to tell everybody I'm a proud American. Have a great day. Enjoy your family. And I look forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks.
That coming from Christy.
Let's do this thing.
Let's do it. Pat, Christy, myself, to everybody out there, happy 4th. Thank you, ladies, for being a part of today's show, and God bless you both.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye, Dan. Bye, Pat.
Take care.
Have a great day.
You too. So that coming here in Christy's Corner, where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We appreciate you being here. We got Danny Thome coming up here. DMT Squared is happening right after this fast break, and we hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful 4th of July and celebrate the fact that you are in a country that allows you to speak your mind and allows you to be who you are. So with that being said, let's take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community. They're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Proud to be here with you where sports meets life, and always grateful for you spending time with us on youtube.com, facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. Around the world, let freedom ring. Happy Independence Day, 4th of July, and a happy birthday to someone who could not have a more perfect day they were born on, and that's Danny Thome, the owner of the Wildcat Sports Pub, and a good friend of mine for many, many years. We're calling this segment DMT Squared, because if you have the initials Daniel Michael something, well, you're probably all right in our book. So with that being said, DMT Squared, Danny and myself speaking on Major League Baseball, his Phillies, my D-backs, Independence Day, and our blessings. I welcome in the birthday boy and the man of this hour, Daniel Thome. Danny, how we doing?
Hey, good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So.
All right. What's going on, man? Thank you for the kind words.
Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, if you thought that those were kind words, I have a little more here for a second. So if you'll oblige me, I'm going to do this because I know that Danny likes when people talk about him. But here we go. I'm kidding. So normally he walks out of the room. I'm like, hey, I'm going to say something nice about Danny. He's like, I'll see you later. But this is what I want to say. And it's my show, so I could say it. Feel free to respond when it's all done. But to those of you watching and listening, and to so many people that I know support Danny and the Thome family, and it showed over the weekend when you showed up for Ella's graduation, and when you have been there for everything with the Thome family. It says a lot about your family and the way that people respond and the way that the people care. So I do want to say this because in August, I believe we'll be heading into year 8 of working together. Danny believed in me, believed in my message almost a decade ago. He gave me an opportunity when we were total strangers. In the 8 years that I've known Danny, I've known him to be kind, I've known him to be compassionate, and I've known him to be somebody who's real. He's going to tell you how he feels, he's going to tell you what he thinks, but he's never come across in a disrespectful way or in an abrasive way. He has a way of leading about him. And during COVID and during all this time, in the world we live in today, it's so easy to see changeover. I see a ton of the same faces working at the Wildcat that were working at the Wildcat when I met Danny 8 years ago. It says something about who he is as a human being, and it says something about a family and not just a business. So, Danny, happy birthday to somebody who I respect, who I have come to love as an extension of my family, part of my family, someone who has always been a straight shooter with me, told me the truth, been by my side, looked out for me, and they always say you have a good friend when somebody sticks up for you in rooms that you're not even in. And I know that, you've done that, you've been there for me, and you've supported me, and you've been a huge part of my journey professionally and personally. So I'm saying something that a lot of people are probably nodding their heads and echoing to, but you're a stand-up guy who looks out for your people, and you have always been there for the people that you really believe in and that you trust and have faith in. And so you thank everyone, and you always take the time to appreciate people. But on your birthday and always, I want you to know that life would be a lot less brighter if we didn't have you in it. So thank you for the person that you are, and everything that you do for this community, for the police force, for the firefighters, for everybody in Camillus, for West Genesee. And, you know, you make people feel seen, and you make them feel appreciated. And I just want to say thank you, because I am always grateful for the fact that I have you in my life, and whatever goes on up and down, in and out of business, when you have somebody like you, there's always something to lean on in a positive way, whether it's a 2-second conversation or we're talking for a half an hour in the office. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for the way that you treat us, because you make people feel seen, and that's an art, and it's not an easy thing to do, and we appreciate that.
Oh, it's a lot of things there, man. I appreciate that. I don't know. I don't know how to come back with all that, but I got a really good group of coworkers at the Wildcat. I got a really good group of contractors, for lack of a better term, that, you know, support the Wildcat, you know, with you and some other people. And, you know, it's loyalty is important, and it kind of goes both ways. And 8 years, really? It's been 8 years? We've been doing this for 8 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Oof, that's a long time. No, but I got to be one of your longest tenured people, I would assume, too, which is great.
Yeah.
It just goes to speak to how important it is to build relationships from the ground up, and where you get. And when you keep growing the same relationship, things expand and things get bigger. And yeah, no, it's great. Everything's good. And thank you for the birthday wishes. I'm going to be full transparency with everybody. I'm sitting at the Wildcat Sports Pub right now at the bar, talking to you on the phone. I came down to do a little bit of work this morning, and it's early, but I poured myself a drink for my birthday, and I'm sipping on that while I listen to you rave about me and talk to you.
So with all those positive words being said, I had to butter you up, because guess what we're talking about? Your Phillies.
They're my Phillies. Like, I own them, yes. I act like I own them, yeah.
So give me your thoughts on halfway through the season, the state of the Philadelphia Phillies at the midway point of Major League Baseball's 2023 campaign.
I believe they will make the playoffs as a wild card team. I hope they have the same run as last year. I do think that some of these teams that are ahead of them will fall down to earth a little bit. I think the Mets are gonna creep up. I know they won Sunday night. I didn't look at any scores from yesterday because Philly was off yesterday, but I think the Phillies are going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to get to 95 wins. I think they're probably going to get in with 88, 89 wins. It's going to come down to the last week like it did last year. We got Harper for the rest of the year, whereas the first half of this year, the first half, we only had Harper for what, I don't know, a month or two. You know, providing nobody gets seriously injured. You know, they played the Diamondbacks well a couple weeks ago. They took 2 out of 3 from the Diamondbacks. They just lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals, which is incredibly disturbing. But they got the Rays today at 4 o'clock, and then tomorrow and Thursday. So we'll see. I mean, if they get swept by the Rays, they got a weekend series against Miami, which is big because Miami's ahead of them right now in the standings. And then we go into the All-Star break, right? So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens. What about your Diamondbacks? How do you feel about them? Are you confident, or are you scared because they're all a bunch of young kids running around out there?
This is my thing about my Diamondbacks. I'm cautiously optimistic, and the reason why I say cautiously optimistic about the Diamondbacks is because of the fact that they have had a tendency in the past, which I hope is over, but they have a tendency in the past of playing a really good half of the season. So they'll start off good and then fall, or they'll ramp it up at, you know, in the second half of the season, but it's not enough. So am I excited? Absolutely. I'm notorious for saying that mathematically we're still in it. So like with 12 games to go last year, the Diamondbacks weren't making the playoffs, but mathematically we were not eliminated. So I kept reminding people every chance I got every week. But no, now, I mean, I'm really excited. there's 3 Diamondbacks that are going to be all-stars this year. Marte was not one of them, which some people find that to be a snub for the second baseman. But, I'm excited about what they're doing. They were able to get a game against the Rays in a short series recently here, which I'm very, very excited about. I don't appreciate the fact that you mentioned your Phillies beating my Diamondbacks, and you didn't need to lead with that. But no, I'm happy. I'm happy. They did it with a young team years ago after they won the World Series. They had some years away, and then they came back with a young team. So I'm hoping that this will be a place for them to continue to lead the NL West and to be in command. They've been in first place numerous times this season. Then the Giants crept up, the Dodgers crept up, but we still have some room there that they've given themselves. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm very excited. I'm hopeful. And if for nothing else, I can say that my Diamondbacks for the first half of the baseball season have more often than not led their division, which I don't think anybody thought they were going to do. So
I would agree. I would agree with that. And I mean, the Padres have been such a disappointment this year, and even the Dodgers on some level, maybe having a slightly down year for them. But the Giants are kind of hot. The Giants have been playing good. The NL West is tough. I guess I'd like to see if, I don't know. Last year was tough. I got some buddies that are Padres fans, and, maybe this year I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, man. If Arizona does well, good for you. I just want to see Philly in the World Series again. I just want to see Philly in the World Series every year. Is that too crazy to ask? All I ask for. Everything else doesn't matter. But if Phillies make the World Series, it's a heck of a run, and we'll see.
I think it's funny because it'll be NFL season, and that the Wildcat Sports Pub has been the exclusive home of all of our Wake Up Call fantasy football leagues, and anytime we talk about fantasy football on Wake Up Call, it's presented by the Wildcat Sports Pub. They have our exclusive rights in connection with that here on Wake Up Call, and I'll be talking to Danny, and it'll be a Sunday or something like that, and I'll say, Danny, this happened, this quarterback did that, and this guy set this record. He'll look right at you and go, I don't care. As long as the Phillies win, I don't care. So, I mean,
the fall for me is not for football. The fall for me is for playoff baseball.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're looking around the league, and you were talking about some of these, teams have been underwhelming. The Padres spend so much money. What do you think about the Shohei Ohtani factor? They're in the middle of the AL West right now. They do have a winning record right here at the midpoint and some change. But Shohei Ohtani, fantastic, 493-foot home run, the longest one this season. He pitches well. He hits well. So when they brought the universal DH to baseball, they made the Shohei Ohtani rule where if you have a pitcher that can also hit, which is like 0.0000001% of baseball history, that you could put Shohei Ohtani out there because nobody wanted to see him have this taken away from him. Why is Ohtani, when you look at the Angels, he's so good and they suck so bad. What do you think of the conundrum of the Los Angeles Angels having Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, yet they have almost never anything to show for it at the end of the year?
It's kind of sad, right? Did you see Trout got hurt last night? I saw something about that this morning very briefly. I didn't read the article. There's a headline somewhere I saw. So I don't know if he's going to be out for a little while. Trout came into the league in 2010-ish. Ohtani came over in, 17, 18? I don't know. I mean, you'd like to see those premier players in baseball make the playoffs. I think Trout has made the playoffs once. Is that accurate? Maybe once in 13 years. But he had his choice, right? He could have stayed. He could have left Los Angeles, when he signed the big deal with them. What was it? I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. He's from South Jersey area. There was talk of him going to the Phillies. Maybe he's slightly past his prime. Trout probably on the, probably the down slope a little bit. Ohtani, is he going to stay there? There was talk of trading him during the midseason. I don't know what's going to happen to him. I read an article about him being linked to the Cleveland Indians or the Yankees, or there's a whole handful of teams that would want his services. I'd love to see him in Philly. I doubt that'll happen. It's tough. I mean, you want to see the premier players in baseball make the playoffs. And when you got arguably player 1 and 2, right, in Trout and Ohtani, not make the playoffs. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, and you brought it up. I mean, they have made the playoffs once in a decade, so it is a shocking thing. And Mike Trout did leave the 8th inning during an at bat, waiting on X-ray, but we're looking at a left wrist injury to Mike Trout. God willing, the X-ray is negative, and he'll be able to play and come back. But it's been crazy. You brought up Shohei Ohtani being linked with different places. The Mets spend more money than anybody in baseball, not the Yankees. The Yankees are second. And the funny thing that I did this past week was I looked at Major League Baseball payroll in 2023. The majority of teams leading their division are in the bottom portion of how much money they spend. And the Rays and the Orioles, which are 1 and 2 in the AL East, are in the two of the Rays spend the third least amount of money. The Orioles spend the second least amount. The A's spend the least in the entire country. In the top 10, there's only one team leading their division that spends a ton of money, and that being the Texas Rangers. So when you look at money spent, what do you think about Ohtani if he comes to the National League East, but he becomes a New York Met?
Listen, I'm not a big Mets fan, obviously. I'm not a big Braves fan. The Braves are an incredibly well-run baseball team. All right? Their GM, they are just very – and I've got some buddies that are Braves fans. Last year was good. Philly beat them, right? But yeah. The Braves are incredibly well-run. They homegrown talent. They sign them young. They keep the people they need to keep. They make the trade deadline. They're not going to pick up some massive name, but they make the pieces work. They're on a 9-game win streak right now. The Mets, they're kind of like Philly. The big market will spend the money. They'll spend the money, but there's something to be said for growing up together. You go through the minors, you grow up together. You make the majors, you've grown up together. You grow together. Look at the Orioles this year with Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, and all those guys. They're crushing it because they've been together. Take a whole ton of money and throw into a pot and see what you get. Maybe worked for the Yankees back in the day. Maybe didn't. Maybe worked for some of these big market teams. Maybe didn't. I don't know if that's the way to grow your team. I think that, listen, wherever Shohei lands, it's going to be a different environment for him.
Yeah.
Things change. Things aren't the same, right? Everything evolves. So, I don't know. I hope he doesn't go to the Mets, but I know Steve Cohen's got more money than, everybody. So, he might wind up there. And so be it.
Yeah. We shall. Who's been your biggest shock this season? I mean, we look at, so in the AL East, the Yankees are third, the Red Sox are fifth. In the Central, the Royals are having a terrible season. The White Sox are toward the bottom there. The Detroit Tigers are in the middle of the AL Central. In the AL West, I mean, the Oakland A's are almost 30 games back from the Texas Rangers. And then in the NL East, we see your division where your Phillies are. We see the Braves, Marlins, Phillies, Mets, Nationals around this midway point. In the NL Central, the Brewers lead the way with the Reds right there with them, and they've been toe-to-toe all the way through. The Pirates had some success early on. They're 6.5 games back. And then we talked about the NL West with the Diamondbacks leading, and they're 2.5 games above the Dodgers at this point. Who's been your biggest surprise positively, Danny? And who's been your biggest, ugh surprise?
I don't know if there's one team for each direction. I think some we're seeing coming. If you start in the American League, the Orioles, I think people thought they were going to be good this year, which is great to see. I think Tampa Bay, people thought were going to be good. I don't know if people thought they were going to be this good. The Centrals in the American League and the National League are always kind of ho-hum. It is surprising to see the Cardinals this poor. I mean, they lost Yadier Molina, which is a big leadership role that they had a hard time filling. I don't think the rest of the AL Central really had a lot of expectations, even the NL Central. I mean, the Rangers doing this well. I think Seattle would have been better. I mean, no one thought Oakland was going to be good. I think the Marlins, I don't know if they can hang on. I hope they can hang on. But they've been playing pretty good baseball. They're young. They're homegrown talent for the most part. They got Gene Segura, who was with the Phillies last year in a leadership role out there, which is great. Cincinnati Reds, and they were terrible last year, 2 years ago. It's good to see them up there. Maybe the Diamondbacks might be the biggest surprise, and the young talent is really paid off for them this year. The biggest disappointment to me right now has to be the Mets or the Padres. I mean, there's no way around it. You spend all that money, and the Mets, I'm looking at the standings now. The Mets are 38 and 46, and the Padres are 39 and 46. I mean, those two teams had aspirations of winning the World Series this year. And here you are, July 4, and, one of them might come back. I don't know if both of them will come back. For my sake, I hope it's the Padres that come back. For your sake, I'm sure you hope it's the Mets. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely see as we go. I did want to let you know this, too. Speaking here with Danny Thome, it's DMT squared as we celebrate Danny's birthday here and the 4th of July with Danny Thome here with me on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and the Wildcat Sports Pub being our partner now for almost 8 years. Danny, I don't know if you saw the news that GG Cards and Breaks on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse has signed on as one of the newest partners of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So I think you and I have to do a day where we go into the sports card shop together because we've never done that.
No, we've never done that, and I do heavily invest in sports cards. I've been there a handful of times. I was there last week, actually. He's got a nice little shop there. He does a good business. Josh has been into my place. I would love to do something like that. Yes, that would be cool as heck.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that because we've talked about it. So and I think we could do like a little filming thing of it too. I think there could be kind of a day at the card shop with DMT squared. I think that'd be fun.
I think it's a great idea, and I'm very good looking, and I like being on camera, so I have no problem doing that with you. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and it plays to something that Danny and I have talked about for years. And whenever I get Danny a gift, it's usually sports cards. So yeah. That's just what we're about. The one thing we will not show you on camera is we will not show you when they're ringing up Danny or I. We're gonna leave that off camera.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Because we got to let Heather know. I'm like, he spent like $7. He just got, he got something small. It's not a big deal. But Danny, before I let you go here, Independence Day, being born on the 4th of July, you care so much about this country, you don't hide it. You care so much about freedom. You do so many things, for the community. You're always there for first responders and for people to put their lives on the line. What does it mean to you to be able to celebrate your birthday on the day that the country that you love celebrates theirs?
What does it mean? It's funny, when I was a little boy, a long time ago, I thought the fireworks were me. I thought they were for me, right? Because that was the thing. And then I learned about this country in school, and I learned about independence and everything else. And it's an honor. That's right. It's completely luck, right, to have your birthday on this day. But it's an honor. And it does mean a lot because I can share my birthday with this great country. My birth year, I don't know if you know this, my birth year was 1976. So everyone has to figure out the math. It means I'm 47 today. But that was the bicentennial. That was the 200th birthday of this nation. And now with the advent of YouTube and everything else, you can go and look and see what this country was like in 1976 and all the bicentennial moments they did and all this other stuff wrapped around July 4th, 1976.
Yeah.
I'd like to get to July 4th, 2076 to say that I lived a third of this nation's history, but we'll see what the future holds. But it is an honor. It's not an honor I was chosen. It was a lucky honor, and it's a great country, great people in this country, lots of differences of opinions, obviously, but it's still, people, the smarter people can see through that. Smarter people can have a rational conversation with people they don't agree with and get to the greater good, and that's what makes this country great.
Yeah, and couldn't have said it better myself. People have differences of opinions coming together to have a conversation. They say that sports is a mirror of life, and people come on to sports talk shows all the time and disagree, but can still have a conversation without wanting to kill each other. And so maybe we can learn from the sports world how to disagree, but to still, break bread together and walk out saying, I'll see you next Wednesday for lunch. So
I agree. My brother-in-law, Paul, he's a diehard Mets fan. I still talk to him, right? I mean, he's got his kid my nephew wearing his Mets hat, and it's cute and everything. But yeah, life still goes on, man. Differences of opinion matter, and that's okay.
It is, and it's what makes this country great, is to be different, but to try and find some way to connect and find the things that bond us all, because it's very simple. People want to be healthy. People want to have enough money to pay their bills and go and do things they want to do. We want good education. We want a house. Good, nice roof over our head. We want safety in our communities. We all want the same stuff. So, like you said, people with sound mind can see through the fact that there's a lot of things out there set to divide us, but we're a lot more similar than we are different.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed, buddy.
And before I let you go, the last thing to talk about, blessings. I can't believe that a couple of years ago, a kid by the name of Joey Thome had his graduation, and as of this weekend, Ella had hers. You and Heather see this in a way where you saw it every day, but in the last almost decade of knowing your family, my brain can't work out that both of your kids have now graduated high school. It's like it doesn't make sense to me. I'm like, wait a second, they got older and they're working, and obviously they're at the Wildcat. So to speak on blessings of your, and to have your family, to have Heather, to have Joey, to have Ella, to be a dog person, and have a nice furry loving friend running around. When you come home to the Thome household, what are you grateful for?
I'm very proud of the two kids, right? They got through school, which is great. They continued on to higher education at OCC, which is wonderful. Very grateful for the restaurant. I'm very grateful for all the wonderful people that I work with daily, from the management staff down to all the different departments at the restaurant, the bar, and the drivers and everybody. That matters to me. It is weird to see the kids out of school, sort of, right? They still have college, but we'll see how that goes. The joke, I make jokes to everything, right? I'm very deflective, make jokes for everything. And what I keep telling people is I'm done parenting. I got them both to 18. I got them both out of high school. So I'm done parenting, right? The reality is that, my parents still parent me, right? Danny, your parents still parent you. That's the reality. Yeah. But at some point, you got to let them go and make their own choices and decisions. And that's kind of hard for me. But it's where I am. So I'm thankful for a lot of things. I appreciate the question. I'm thankful for a lot of things. And, yeah.
So with that being said, a happy birthday to Danny Thome, DMT squared, the owner of the Wildcat Sports Pub, a good friend, even more so than that, and somebody that we appreciate in this community. So, Danny, as we celebrate your birthday, we celebrate that 365 and in sometimes 366 days of the year, you're always, like I said, making people feel appreciated and seen, and you always do. You do a lot of work that you don't think you're doing, but you make a lot of people feel like they matter, and that goes a long way. So thanks for building up our community. Thanks for being a nice person. Thanks for believing in me almost 8 years ago, because you didn't have to do that. So I appreciate it very much, and go Phillies, except for when they play the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Phillies and Diamondbacks in the NLCS, we should go.
Hey, if the Diamondbacks make the playoffs, then you better call me and ask me what game we're going to.
Okay, well,
no.
Right. It might conflict with football for you, though, because you like football and I don't. But I'd like to see if the Diamondbacks and the Phillies play in the playoffs, which is a possibility.
Yeah.
We should go.
Oh, we're going. We're going to GG Cards and Breaks, and if the Diamondbacks play the Phillies, you and I are going. Absolutely. Without doubt, I don't care what the schedule is, I'm going. So.
All right, man. Sounds good.
All right. Well, listen, enjoy yourself today. Have a fantastic birthday. And again, thank you from not just me, but from all of us.
All right. Appreciate it. Talk soon. See you.
Take care. That coming from Danny Thome once again, the Wildcat Sports Pub owner, a longtime partner of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, and a longtime friend. And somebody who, I didn't know before I walked into the Wildcat. And I sat at the end of the bar with him, and we had a conversation, and almost 8 years later, we've had a lot of conversations. And I can honestly say that, Danny is there for you in a way that, it's an easy way to put it is that he makes you feel seen. You know, but it says a lot about him. It says a lot about him that his workers are still there after all these years. We see turnover in today's world all the time, and we don't see a lot of it at the Wildcat. So, you know, shout out to Dan and to how he treats people. Because, you know, I tell people at the end of your life, the only thing that you have to show God is your soul. Your soul is your currency. So whatever you did in your life and however you treated people, that's what you have to show for yourself. And Danny, like he said, he deflects, he jokes around a lot, but his soul's got a lot of currency because he's made a lot of people feel special, me included. And I'm so grateful for that. Danny's one of those people that when he calls you and asks you, can you do this? Can you help? You say thank you before he tells you the date, the time, anything, because you want to help a good person. So happy birthday. God doesn't make accidents. A person that cares so much about this country, born on this country's birthday in 1776 and born in 1976. So happy birthday to you, Danny. Thank you for all you do. We all love you and we all appreciate you. And I think we would all say that if asked who your family members are, I think there'd be hundreds of people standing up saying, oh yeah, that's my family. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for how you do it. And thank you for giving me another DMT so that I could square this thing and have another Daniel Michael out there. So us DMTs stick together, and I couldn't be blessed with crossing paths with a better person. And I put Danny up against all of them. So thank you for being you. Happy birthday. And go Phillies, except for when they play the Diamondbacks. With that being said, we'll take a step aside on Wake Up Call for a fast break. We'll be back with the ingredients to success right after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond. You can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? This is a special message from Merritt Brady, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Watertown on 1290 Arsenal Street in Watertown, New York.
Chick-fil-A for me has always been about the people. I think it starts with the strength and leadership of the Cathy family. It's just amazing to see a family-run business reach the altitude that they have. Second mile service is something that we embodied at my previous business, and the ability to make people feel like they're the only person at your establishment, that you are there to serve them that day and looking for those extra ways to make them happy, to anticipate what they need next is what makes me tick. And I'm going to have so many opportunities at Chick-fil-A to do that. It's one of my favorite things to eat in the world. My favorite application question or interview question when I'm interviewing is when I get to, have you ever eaten at Chick-fil-A? And a smile hits both their ears. You know, they can't even answer the question for a second. And when I see that, it's like, man, that's going to be a great hire. They already get it. They already feel it. They already know that we're different. The Chick-fil-A experience, it's a real thing. And then, of course, just our generosity and community involvement and making a positive impact in the lives of our team members, our guests, and the community in general, I think is really the secret sauce.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. This is a special message from 317 at Montgomery restaurant owner Joel Carpenter. Open Tuesday through Saturday for your dining pleasure on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York.
We wanted to be a part of the resurgence of Syracuse. We saw a lot of money being put into bringing people back downtown and thought that, we'd like to be a part of that. I love putting together a good dish where people see it first, they fall in love with it, and then it tastes just as good as it looks. We want to provide the best food in Syracuse that we possibly can, and we want you to leave here talking to your family, your friends about what you had to eat first and foremost, but also our service, and to walk out feeling like you're part of our family. I work out in the front of the house a lot, and I love walking to every single table, asking them how everything is, and people looking at me and smiling and saying, this is the most amazing short rib I've ever had. This is the most amazing filet I've ever had. And Donna is great. Sarah's amazing. Thank you for coming over and talking to us. And them just being truly happy for the experience that they've gotten.
317 at Montgomery Restaurant, part of the fabric of downtown Syracuse, located on 317 Montgomery Street in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday for a unique and memorable dining experience. What's up, people? Back here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Pardon me, where sports meets life. Happy to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And I hope you are having yourselves a very wonderful 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. And, you know, all the words that I said coming into the show, I mean that. You know, I mean, it breaks my heart when I hear people say they hate this country, they don't want to be in this country's, you know, got bad history and this, that, and whatever. We can't change history. This country's not perfect. No country's perfect. But what we can do is we can be better today. What we can do is we can love today. What we can do is we can help each other today. And be the country that my grandfathers fought for, that my grandmothers fought for, that my great aunts and uncles fought for, that my parents worked their tails off for so that they could have a son who could get a good education and a son who could be proud to be who he is, proud to be an Italian Hispanic American, and proud to live in the world that I get to live in. So the ingredients to success today, as they always do, they come from the heart. Proudly presented by Avicoli's on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, on 7839 Oswego Road, right down the road from Liverpool High School. It's always an honor and a privilege for me to be here with you and bring you the ingredients to success from such a wonderful company in Avicoli's. And I just want to make today, you know, when we talk about the ingredients to success, what's the topic? And I'll call the topic a better today, a brighter tomorrow. A better today, a brighter tomorrow. So what do I mean by that? A better today, a brighter tomorrow. As we celebrate Independence Day, we reflect upon the fact that some people still don't feel free, still don't feel seen, still don't feel respected, appreciated, noticed, right? Now, to me, if you believe in God, you're not waiting for people to appreciate you. And if you believe in God, you're not waiting for people to respect you. You know, I think that's one of the problems in today's world, is we're waiting for people to tell us it's okay to be who we are. We're waiting for people's approval. In this country, we seek approval all the time. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Tell me I'm good. Tell me I'm good. Tell me everything I'm doing is okay. Tell me that I'm doing the right thing. See, I don't seek people for that, because when you do, it's a mistake. I seek God for that. God, help me to know in my heart of hearts that I'm doing right. Because the seeking to be accepted, accept yourself, love yourself, be proud of who you are. See, this country is made up of all immigrants. When this land came to be, nobody lived here, not even the Native Americans. This land, I think historically, if I'm correct, nobody was born on this land at the beginning of this land. There was nobody here. People migrated here. The Native Americans migrated, claimed it their land, right? And that's from what I learned. If I'm wrong, share it in the feed. But from what I learned, this land belonged to no one. My point is, because I sat on an immigration panel at Marywood University years ago, I said, if this land belongs to nobody, how dare anybody tell somebody that they don't belong here? My family came over My family that has Italian and Spanish descent. My family who has Guatemalan descent and Peruvian descent. We came over from England, from France, from Mexico, from China, from so many different nations on the continent of Africa and all throughout Europe. We came over from islands in Central America, Ukraine. See, this country is a melting pot. This country became what it is today because of the mixing of cultures and ideas, of religions and nationalities and languages and people. The most beautiful thing about America is that we can represent the world because so many people from around the world came here for a better life for their family. So how can we, on our nation's birthday, not celebrate and be proud of our differences? Because our differences have made us the United States of America, not the divided States of America. The United States of America. Well, Dan, it doesn't feel that way. Yeah, that's because a lot of people in the media try to control you. And I'm in the media, and I can tell you that I've watched people lie to people and fabricate something and tell a different story than the conversation that they had. I've seen it in front of my eyes, and I'll never forget it. Because it came from somebody that I had respected up until that point. The media wants to divide you. The media wants an uprising. They want upheaval because to the media, if everything was good and people laughed and held hands of different colors and nationalities and religions and sexualities and genders and backgrounds, if we all got along, the media would feel like they have nothing to tell and they wouldn't have ratings. That's not why I do what I do. I think telling the truth is the only way to be. So there's a lot of people in the media that make this country, they want this country to hate each other. Right? There's that. But I look back on my life, and my life is filled with people that are different than me. And if I wasn't open to people of different religions and different nationalities and different languages and different backgrounds and different money and different genders and different sexuality and different this and different that, if I didn't open my world up to the men and women that I've met, my life would be exponentially not as wonderful. What makes my life grand is being open to meeting people, because I fall in love with the souls, good souls of this world. Everybody's born with a good soul, and people make a decision what they do with it. Like I said, that your soul is your currency. I have met so many different people. When you look at the businesses that I work with, and you look at the backgrounds of each of those people, when you look at my friends, and you look at their backgrounds, there is not one representation, and that's it. It's a plethora. It's a beautiful landscape. Because if you close yourself off to the world, you become prejudiced, sexist, racist, whatever. If you become ist, there's a lot of bad ists, right? If you become that way, you're going to, without doubt, cut yourself off from really good people. Really wonderful souls. So, the ingredients to success today is for America. Happy birthday. I don't want to talk about how we can be better. I want to be better, right? Because how many people in your life that treated you badly told you they were a bad person, told you they do bad things? People don't say that. They just do it. Who's going to come up to you and say, I'm a bad person? 99.9% of the time, nobody's going to say that. If they're bad to people, they're going to say they're good, and if they're good to people, they're going to say they're good. most people are not going to tell you if they're bad. That's reality. So I want to know the people that live it, don't just talk about it. How are you going to be a good person today? Because the United States of America could change overnight if we got rid of the ists, racist, prejudiced, sexist. If we got rid of this need to put people in groups. We're the United States of America, not the divided states of America. We are united. That means Florida shouldn't hate on Rhode Island. Rhode Island shouldn't hate on Nebraska. Nebraska shouldn't hate on Texas. Texas shouldn't hate on Utah. Utah shouldn't hate on California. California shouldn't hate on New York. New York shouldn't hate on Wyoming. Wyoming shouldn't hate on Hawaii. Hawaii shouldn't hate on Alaska. Alaska shouldn't hate on West Virginia. And so on and so forth. We listen to so many people talk drama, talk hate, talk division. Who's talking addition? Connection, unification. We became the United States of America for a reason. Our history of letting topics and ideas and ideologies divide us has left us with a lot of blood, a lot of tears, and a lot of broken families. Being divided as a country, historically, has only led to bad things. So why do it now? You're supposed to learn from your history. That's why you don't erase history. That's why you don't stop teaching history in schools. You have to teach history. Oh, it's offensive to talk about that. You have to teach history. People need to know what happened in history so that we don't repeat it. We have to learn. We have to ask questions. This world has had a dirty history. And this world has also had a bright and beautiful history. But we need to know it all in order to understand it. Right? If you're a friend that says to your friend, only come to me on the good days. Don't come to me when you're hurting. Don't come to me when you're stressed. Don't come to me when drama happens in your life. Only come to me when it's sunshine and rainbows. Then you're not a real friend, and you never know that person's life. You only know a portion of your life, their life. You only know a piece of their life. You don't know how they respond to adversity. You don't know the pain they went through. You don't know their story. To only focus on one part of a person, to judge them on one thing, to focus on one thing, you don't know the rest of who they are. To know a person is to know their flaws, to know everything, to know their history, to know who they are. And on a bigger scale, the only way that we could truly know this country is to know this country, is to learn about this country, to not restrict ourselves to the view of simply our backyard, simply our street, our block, our part of town, our city, our state, but to learn, to grow, to advance yourself. I have had the pleasure and the beauty of being around people in and out of this country, all around the world, and I've been to different parts of this country and seen different things and heard different viewpoints. Because that's what makes the world go around, is knowledge. Is power. Knowledge leads to wisdom. Bigotry doesn't lead to wisdom. Shutting yourself off in a castle doesn't lead to wisdom. Saying my way or the highway doesn't lead to wisdom. Wisdom can only be reached by gaining more and more knowledge. The more knowledge you gain, the more wisdom can be born from it. But wisdom cannot be born from a lack of knowledge. The only thing that can be born from a lack of knowledge is ignorance, naivety, lack of logic and rationale. To seek to know is to understand. To seek to know is how we can understand. We can't understand what we don't know. And we may not understand what we learn, but we can seek to try and see why other people understand, why they believe. This country is united. But today we feel divided. And as we celebrate the birthday, I'm not going to sit here, blow off fireworks and wave a flag and pretend like we can't be better. Because we can be better. But not every cop is bad. And not every person of this color or that color is bad. And not every person of this orientation is bad. And not every person of this religion is bad. And not every teacher is bad. And not every firefighter is bad. And not every lawyer is crooked. And not every broadcaster lies. Absolutes lead to terrible pieces of our history. When you say everybody in this group is bad. I don't like anybody that looks like this, sounds like this, dresses like this, acts like this, has this money, does this. In order to be a country that doesn't just blow off fireworks today and eat hot dogs and hamburgers, to be more than that is to seek our knowledge, understand what we've been through, gain wisdom, and then make choices to be better. I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I don't care who you're voting for and what's a red state and a blue state and a purple state and blah, 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 blah. I don't care about any of that nonsense. What I care about is the next time that we vote for a leader of this country, are we going to vote toward the same things? Safety, security, honesty, prosperity, humility, kindness, faith, generosity, empathy? Are we going to seek someone who is good, kind, who doesn't seek to divide? I don't want to vote for somebody who wants to tell me how crappy the other person is. My parents taught me you don't talk bad about other people in public. You don't shame other people so you look good. You want to look good, you work hard, you do the best you can, and you hope that people see who you really are. But you don't show people who you are by telling people who other people aren't. I don't want to see that. I will gladly write in a candidate than vote for anybody who tells me how crappy somebody else is. I don't want you to win if you start spitting hate. I don't want you to win. This country has become divided, not united. And today we're going to blow off fireworks. Today we're going to watch baseball games. Today we're going to pretend like everything's fine. But we got to look beyond the iceberg and find our ingredients to success. And I've named them already. Kindness, humility, empathy, joy, gentleness, faith, self-control. The gifts of the Holy Spirit that I talked about last week in Blessings in Baseball with Tampa Bay Rays press box manager, Dukes Knudsen. If you want this country to be better, if you want this world to be better, if you want your block to be better, then what we need to practice, what we need to understand, what we need to know, are those special gifts: wisdom, knowledge, faith. We need to know all of these beautiful things. The things that we need to follow. The fruits of the Holy Spirit. Charity, joy, peace, patience. They're said in different ways, but they come from goodness. They come from the heart. They come from love. And we have to learn how to bring them to each other. Because this world advances, this country advances, not from how many fireworks we could blow off or how much money we have or whatever. This country, if we want to be the United States of America, not the divided states of America, you could say whatever you want to say, like I got back to my point. You can say who you are, but what you do shows who you are. We say we're united, we act divided. If we want to be the United States of America, the only way to be the United States of America is to teach our history, learn our history, know our history, see the bad parts of our history, the good parts of our history, and the in-between, and find a way forward that makes our present a history that we actually want to look back on and be proud of. We cannot change what has happened, but we can change what is happening together. So happy birthday, America. And to everybody that goes out there and disrespects America and burns the flag and hates the flag and hates the country and hates what it represents and doesn't care about our national anthem and doesn't care about, being here and wants to leave and screw this country sucks. Again, words, actions. 99.9% of people that go on social media and talk bad about America are never going to leave this country. Because they're going to abuse all their privileges here. While they disrespect the freedoms that they have, they're going to use those freedoms. And that is the great juxtaposition of today's America. You don't like it here, but you won't leave. You don't respect it here, but you won't leave. You want to yell at your parents and call them names and disrespect them in their household, but you're going to eat their food. And you're going to live under their roof, and you're going to let them buy you clothes. You don't have to agree with every policy America has. You don't have to agree with everything America does, and you don't have to be proud of the history. But you also do not burn a flag. You also do not spit on law enforcement and first responders. And you don't turn a blind eye to the fact that the freedom that you exercise every time you disrespect this country is a freedom that was earned in blood, in tears, and in people walking up to doorsteps and knocking on a door to tell a family something that they never wanted to hear. You don't have to agree with everything this country does. You don't have to agree with every single part of history. And you don't have to be proud or happy with certain things that have happened. But if you're going to live in this country, eat the food of this country, live under the roof of this country, and practice the freedoms of this country, the very least you can do today and every day of your life is respect this country. Respect the fact that you are in a place of freedom where you can speak your mind. And understand that freedom of speech is not the freedom to hate. It is not the freedom to be a jerk. It is not the freedom to be disrespectful. It is not the freedom to call people names, and it is not the freedom to put people down. Your freedom of speech is your freedom to be who you are and say what you want to say, with the caveat of understanding that words can hurt and actions can hurt. We have the freedom to be whoever we want to be. And with great power comes great responsibility. Spider-Man taught me that, and his colors are red, white, and blue. And I don't agree with everything that happens in this country, and I'm not proud of the dark moments of this country, but I can tell you what, I live every single day trying to make my home a better place. And if we all did that instead of complaining, if we all did that instead of being double standard people, if we all did that instead of being hypocrites, we get a lot farther, a lot faster, because love and hate are taught. And the only thing that can drown out darkness is light. Hate does not dissolve hate. Violence does not dissolve violence. Darkness does not make us rid of darkness. Martin Luther King Jr. said it. Many people have said it. The only way to bring light to the darkness is with light. The only way to knock out hate is with love. The only way to find peace is not by war. And the only time to find understanding is not by being closed-minded. The cold, hard truth about our country is the only thing that divided us was us. And the only way to bring us back together is us. The same vehicle used to diminish everything that we have been proud to be is us. And the only vehicle to bring us back is us. We got to take care of home. The United States of America can be united again, but I can't do it without you. So please sit at my table. Please pray with me. Please break bread with me. Please take time to understand me and me you. Hold my hand and be proud of the fact that no matter how far we may have gone in the wrong direction, we live in a country where we can choose the right direction at any time. And what better time than today? We'll be back right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Proud to be here with you every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And gosh darn it, folks, I am so happy to be in this country and talking with you from a place where I could literally decide to start my own business, find a path to it, go through all the paperwork, make it real, get the LLC, and have my studio, have my office, build it the way I want to build it, do it the way I want to do it, talk about God, share everything I want to share. Because I was born into a country that doesn't make you disappear for being who you are and being proud of who you are. So, to everybody everywhere seeking freedom, shame on those that abuse and don't respect their freedom, because not everybody's free around the world. You go to another country, you'd think it's 100 years ago, arguably. So, to everybody fighting for freedom, remember, God gave us all freedom. Human beings took it away, not God. And I pray that you have freedom. And you get to know what it's like to walk outside and be you and not be afraid. In this country and out of this country, there is no soul that I want to not know what it feels like to be free. And to those that don't feel free, remember what Gandhi said in jail. You can chain my body to the ground, but you cannot chain down my spirit. Remember that. If you'll oblige me here to round out today's 4th of July broadcast, I'd like to say a prayer. And like I tell people all the time, you have different religions, backgrounds, or no religion that listen to the show and watch the show, and I respect you. Please respect me. I'm willing to sit at your table despite you may be different than me. And I would love for you to give me the same respect because I believe in God and I'm never going to hide that. In the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, I come to you humbly today, knowing my place, knowing that I am under you and that you are everything to me. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my health, my safety, and my happiness. Thank you for all the blessings that I have and being able to do what I love and love what I do. Thank you for helping me even in adversity and showing me you love me and truly being those footprints in the sand when I needed to be carried. I apologize for every sin I've ever committed and every time where I haven't been my best self. I come to you today to ask for forgiveness and for you to know that I love you deeply. Thank you. Thank you for having me be born in America. I pray for every soul that wasn't born into a free place, that place may change for the better and they may be free. And I pray for this country to change for the better so that our freedoms may truly be free for all. I pray that we never lose sight of you and that we trust in God more than we trust in humanity. That we don't lean on our own understanding, but we lean on yours. And that we see that we have more similarities than differences. And that love rules the day, not hate, not ignorance, not naivety, not lack of logic or rationale. But that love is the one thing that rules the day, today and always. May we have a beautiful Independence Day. May we remember the sacrifices that were made so that we could even celebrate this day. May it not simply be a holiday to save money and a holiday to blow off fireworks and a holiday to not have to go to work. May we remember that the things that we celebrate in this country have you connected to it, love connected to it. May we know you, God. May we celebrate you. May we celebrate our differences, realizing we have more similarities than differences. May we love each other. May we be good to each other. May you forgive us of our sins individually and as a nation and as a world and as creation. May you give us another chance to do right. And may the new era that we go into be better than anyone that we've ever been in before. May our brightest moments be today and ahead of us. And may you never, ever lose love for us. And may you never forget your people. God, may you come into this world, into this country, and into all of our individual hearts and minds and bodies and souls more than ever before. Please heal us. Help us to be together even with our loved ones in death. Guide us toward you and guard us from all evil. Help us to be the good that we want to see in this world. And from here on out, not that adversity doesn't exist or that evil doesn't exist, but may good always defeat it. May love always, always be at the top. And no matter how bad our life is or how bad things look or how bleak they look, may the truth always come out. May goodness always prevail over all evil. And may you always have our backs. And may we learn to love each other like you love us. God bless America, and God bless the world, and God bless creation, now and forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you all. And thank you for watching and listening to Wake Up Call. Every Monday through Friday, under promise, over deliver. It's well past 11 o'clock again. Thank you for watching and listening Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on wakeupcalldt.com. You can go to the homepage of Wake Up Call at wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, pardon me. You can go to the homepage of wakeupcalldt.com and pick up all these feeds in one simple and easy place. So we ask that you do that. Go right to wakeupcalldt.com, bookmark our website, and when we go live, all of these feeds will be at your disposal in one simple place. Wakeupcalldt.com, where you'll find our YouTube, Facebook, and Podbean feed. You can pick which one you want to watch and listen Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Once the show goes live, it jumps into the archive on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, as well as MixLR, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, TuneIn, Player FM, Podbean, Podvine, Podchaser, as well as Boom Play, and other avenues. Search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on your favorite podcasting platform today. Click subscribe, follow, whatever you need to do on any one of these apps so that you can connect with us at all times. And we appreciate you for that. A big thanks to our incredible partners on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, 317 at Montgomery Street. GG Cards and Breaks. Avicoli's, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Great Lakes, Honda City. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corner Popcorn Factory. PB&J's Lunchbox. Pizza Man. Canine Camp Dog Daycare. Chick-fil-A Watertown. Mother's Cupboard. Canine Campground Dog Boarding. As well as being the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It is Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call. Dolphin Time is every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, and you can hang out with your Dolphins first and third Wednesday of each month with AD and DT featuring Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora. Every second and fourth Wednesday, you could hang out with student athletes, coaches, as well as administration, future Dolphins, and alumni in our Dolphin Dive features. And we underpromise and overdeliver. So we say that Wednesdays at 9 o'clock you're going to find us, but we've done more AD and DTs and Dolphin Dives than I can count as we head toward year 3. And you can see that ever-growing library by subscribing to our YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and bookmarking the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com. For more information on your Dolphins, go to LemoyneDolphins.com, and as always, Fins Up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. You can find your Bobcats every single month on Wake Up Call and track our social media to find out when our next special is going to be. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at wakeupcall_DT, letting you know when the Bobcat Buzz is coming your way with student athletes, coaches, and administration. We've been able to tell incredible stories with incredible people in a way that Bryan and Stratton has never reached the community before. We look forward to everything coming up, including our board game challenge, which was born out of my conversation with the new esports head coach, Brian Yurton. A lot of great stuff coming up. I want to thank Brian Yurton, Tay Baker, as well as Clay Gagan Sherman, Nick Dimitrievsky, Sean Peak, Alex Grigorita, Mary Hawkins, and all of the student athletes and everyone in the administration and beyond at Bryan and Stratton College of Syracuse on James Street. You can find all of our specials on the BSC Syracuse tab as it ever grows on wakeupcalldt.com. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, and you can find more information on the Bobcats by going to syracuse.bscbobcats.com. As always, go Bobcats. The Alfred University Saxons are our newest exclusive multimedia marketing partner. The Saxons come to you from Western New York, and they will be with you every Monday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, exclusively on Wake Up Call in our Saxon Spotlight, where we will have the opportunity to feature leadership, from the president to the athletics director to coaches and student athletes and potentially alumni and future students. The possibilities are endless with Alfred University in our Saxon Spotlight. You heard from the president, and coming up here very soon. And I call Deb the athletics director because that's the, easy way to understand that she oversees athletics. Her official title, the associate vice president for student experience, athletics, and recreation. And so Deb Stewart will be with us this coming Monday on July 10th, which I'm ecstatic to have her join the show in our Saxon Spotlight. But being able to feature Deb as well as Mark Zupan, the student athletes, the coaches, and so on and so forth. Alfred University is going to have a spotlight on them that they've never had before. That's why we call it the Saxon Spotlight, to shine a light to the community, to the alumni, to the future students, the current students, and student athletes, everyone in connection with Alfred University and everybody around the world to hear the Saxon story. 28 sports programs, and for the first time ever, Wake Up Call will be connected as an exclusive multimedia marketing partner with a football team, a women's rugby team, skiing teams, and equestrian teams. We cannot wait to tell the stories of Alfred University. We've already begun, and I could not be happier this past Saturday, July 1st, to make that news official. It was one of those things where I couldn't wait to go to sleep because I couldn't wait to wake up. Alfred University, Mondays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Wake Up Call. And of course, you can go to the Alfred U tab on wakeupcalldt.com and make sure to bookmark it and save it. Join us on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt by subscribing for more information on your Saxons. And of course, you can go to gosaxons.com, which is a perfect term because here on Wake Up Call, that's what we say. Go Saxons. With that being said, I want to thank my wonderful guest in Christy's Corner, Pat Orr, boxing photographer and the owner of PB&J's Lunchbox, which you need to go to after today because today's a holiday. But make sure you go to PB&J's Lunchbox to get their awesome pot roast sandwich, which is on Wednesdays. So you can go there tomorrow. Of course, Taco Tuesdays will be starting up next Tuesday again, and everything that they offer throughout the week. PB&J's Lunchbox has such a unique spin on the traditional favorites that we love, as well as bringing us menu items we won't find anywhere else. 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York, right down the road from Destiny USA, Onondaga Lake Parkway, the Thruway, the Highway, centrally located for you, whether you live here or you're traveling through. Make sure that PB&J's Lunchbox is one of the stops you make. Big shout out to Danny Thome and everything he brings to this community and to my life and to so many people whose lives he's touched. We talk about, what you leave this world is with your soul, with your currency, how you treated others. Well, Danny's soul is worth a lot because he has made a lot of people's lives brighter and better just by being who he is and saying hello. So a big happy birthday to Danny Thome and a big shout out to the Wildcat Sports Pub, which is closed until the 5th in celebration of the holiday season. So when they open back up on the 6th, we look forward to seeing you out there at the Wildcat Sports Pub all throughout the year, 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. And a big time thanks to Avicoli's, who brings us the ingredients to success every single Tuesday, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as we have the opportunity to celebrate Avicoli's, who's open Tuesday through Sunday outside of holiday time, weekly. And you can go there for takeout, delivery, and catering by calling 315-622-5100 or going to myavicolis.com. And of course, you can go on site to 7839 Oswego Road in Liverpool to Avicoli's, right down the road within walking distance of Liverpool High School, and where we do our Liverpool Warriors exclusive sit-down broadcast every single month. So, thank you to Avicoli's for all the amazing things that you do in my life and in the lives of so many. And we appreciate it so very much. And it really showed, like going through COVID, when they could only open for takeout and delivery, they were packed like it was a normal day. And it was just cars picking up food. So if it says anything about what a business and an establishment is and the people that make it up, when people didn't know what to do and they were scared and holding on to their money and staying in their house, when they did go out and when they did spend their money, they spent it at Avicoli's. And that says a lot about the team there, led by John. And God bless to y'all. And thank you for all you do. And thank you for a great dinner that I got to have with my mom and Amy just a few days ago, sitting at Avicoli's, just a couple booths down from where we do our live wake-up call special with the Liverpool Warriors every single month. So God bless and thank you for believing in me. With that being said, I hope you have a fantastic 4th of July. Please be safe. Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, Instagram at Wake Up Call _DT. If we want to be what this shirt says, we got to start loving more and leading with knowing our history, gaining knowledge, which will gain us wisdom, working together, and understanding that we're more similar than different. The United States can be united again if we all decide today to love instead of hate, to listen instead of scream, and to seek to understand and not just be understood. Life is beautiful. God gave us freedom. Let's not take it from each other, and let's not take it from ourselves. Let's be the beacon of light that we were to this world before, because it needs us. We need us. And together, we can make a difference a lot faster than a bunch of groups individually seeking just to help themselves. Together is the fastest way toward all of us feeling important, valued, loved, and heard, and understood. I look forward to celebrating the United States of America with you today, tomorrow, and the next day. God bless. No stress. Do your best. Thank you to my family, my great uncles, my great aunts, my grandfathers, my grandmothers, for all of your sacrifice. Thank you to everybody who sacrificed. I'm proud to come from people that had a positive, beautiful, and happy vision for this country. Let's make sure that they didn't die in vain, that they don't live in vain, and that they didn't fight for freedom in vain. We love you. We appreciate you. We celebrate you. And we're better because of your courage. God bless the United States of America, and God bless everyone, everywhere, around the world, and the universe. God bless you. Happy 4th of July. We'll talk to you soon.